Today I would like to show you how I color faces with Twinkling H2Os, in particular how different the faces look with different colors used. Today I need a stamped image. I stamped a Whiff of Joy skater pen, only the face, on heavy watercolor paper with a waterproof ink. Then I need my mini mister or any other product which helps you to spray the twinklings with water. You will need a brush. I'm using a water tank brush, and I need a tissue paper to wipe my brush during coloration. Before I start coloring, I will spray all colors I need with water and give them a few minutes to dissolve. You don't need a lot of water because we all only color small areas. I chose this particular image with Joy Skater pen because he has a quite large face, and so it is easier to see how the coloration is done. To start with, I'm testing my water tank brush. I get lots of emails from people telling me that they can't handle the brush and that it is difficult to use. I have to admit that I had problems myself in the beginning. I start with testing how wet the tip is on the back of my hand. If it's not wet enough, then I just give it a short squeeze. Don't squeeze too much, because the water needs its time to go through the sponge and to wet the tip. So lots of people squeeze and squeeze, and then the brush, the tip is too wet, and then it won't work. Then you get puddles on your faces or on your paper. So mine is wet enough, and I start with wetting the area I'm going to color. Not too wet, just a slight layer of water. This way the color will glide over the paper more easily. We want to do a light face, so I'm starting with a very light color, Oyster. And I'm starting in the darker area of my face, where I want it to have lots of shadows. And I'm adding a lot of color there. Oyster is a very light color, so you won't see too much in the camera, I guess. Don't forget the ears. Oyster is also used to mix colors and to lighten them up. So here is my first layer. Now I'm wiping off my brush and blend the color to the darker areas of my skin. This was the lightest color. Now I turn to a middle tone, and I chose Natural Linen for my middle tone. Taking a lot of color and start all over again, adding the color to the darker areas of my skin. wipe off my brush again and blend the color to the lighter areas. I'm using small circular motions and wiping off my brush over and over again to get nice shading. So if you think you didn't use too much color or blended it too much, then you can go in again and add more color. And this is the huge advantage of heavy paper, 250 to 300 grams. You can go in over and over again and it won't tear or get holes. The first two colors, and now I want to add some more shading under the hair, and so I'm using my third color tone, not too dark because I want to have a light face. So I'm using Sanddollar light brown beige color tone, and I'm adding some of the color underneath the hair. Not too much. And then I start blending again. I don't blend as much as with the other two colors because I don't want the face to get too dark. The most important thing are the cheeks, of course, because the cheeks bring life to the image. So I'm only doing a very, very light skin, and I'm using Chiffon pink for my purpose. And I start with adding enough color to the area where I want my cheeks to be. And I wipe off my brush, and then I start blending the edges. You have to work very quickly on the cheeks, because if you wait too long, the paper soaks up the color and then you can't blend anymore. The second boy, I will give him more a rosy face with more pink in it. So I'm starting with wetting the face again. And my first color will be Pink Cloud. I love to use Pink Cloud for faces. And I'm adding the color under the hair in the darkest area of the face again, where most of the shadows are. And in the ears, do you see the difference already to our last face? It's already a lot rosier. And then I'm switching to my middle tone, which is Almond Beige. I'm adding the color in my darkest areas again. And a little bit more. Now wipe off your brush and start blending again. Make sure that the brush is wet enough. If not, squeeze it a little bit. Now for my third tone, which is blushing caramel. Just a little bit under the hair. Then I wipe off my brush again and start with down. For the cheeks, I'm going to use Rose Petal this time. It's a bit lighter, a lighter color than Chiffon Pink, which I used in the first face. And start with adding the color again, wiping off your brush, and then blend the color. For the third face, let's start with wetting the area again. It's always the same procedure. And then we start with our lightest color again. And this time I'm using Baby's Breath, light pink, and I'm putting the color on the darkest areas of the skin again, under the hair. Now for the second color tone, I'm using Rich Cacao. As darkest tone, I'm using Scarab Beetle to add some more shades. Now for the cheeks. This time I want to do a bit darker cheeks, so I'm using Poppy Red. You have to be careful because it is a really strong red, so only take a tiny little bit. You see what I mean? A little bit, and then wipe off the brush immediately and start blending.